I grew up in southeastern Arizona in a family where my parents loved each other and they loved the Lord, but they got off into a cult, and I grew up in a home where it was very rigid. My only associations were with the people that were in the group. I wasn't allowed to participate in any activities outside. One of the things that I was told is if we left there, we left God. So people who left became shunned. I grew up feeling like a misfit, unwanted, unnecessary. I remember feeling like if I would just cross the street and walk on the other side of the street, I was invisible. That kind of carried through into my adult life, where when I feel uncomfortable, I don't feel like I belong. When I was 19, I met my husband, and he was not in the church. And I felt like when I married him, I would have to turn my back on truth, trade him possibly for eternity. I felt like God didn't accept me when I chose my husband. Eventually, I got to the point where I found God was faithful. 3 years into our marriage, in tears one night, I said, you know what? God may not want me, but I need him. And it was at that moment that peace just came over me. And I began to recognize that maybe they weren't right. Maybe God had a plan for me. And I had felt like there was no place in this world for me. And I began to feel like I had a place, and God blessed us. We had 2 little ones. There's a scripture that says God puts the lonely in families, and he gave me a new family, and he gave me a good life. In 1997, we moved to Moscow. One of our family members, one of our kids, had a problem with addiction, and it felt to me like a cyclone hit our home, our happy home where there was so much love and joy. It disintegrated, and we all dealt with it differently. But for me, I felt like my world came apart. I felt as though there was always a hurricane swirling through my home. The pain and the fear, I couldn't shake it. And I'd always been raised in an environment of fear where God's love is conditional. I prayed and nothing worked. I just didn't think I was going to survive. I believed him. I knew he had a purpose and a plan. But there's a scripture that says, I have come that you might have life, and you might have it more abundantly. And I got so angry. I would struggle with God. What does this mean? What does this mean, this abundance that you talk about? Because I don't have it. I believe you, I trust you, I think I trust you, but I don't have abundant life. My world got pretty dark, and I felt hopeless. I felt like there was no joy. There were so many months that I didn't experience joy that I thought it was gone forever. And I remember Aaron preached a sermon, and he was talking about if you say you believe, but you don't have faith, you don't trust, you're like a ship bobbing in the ocean. And I emailed him, and I said, Aaron, you're talking about me. And he said, you're asking the wrong questions. The right question is, do you believe that God has your best interest at heart? And I said, yes, that's a no-brainer. And he says, then you can trust him. And that was in 2009. And that Christmas was our darkest, saddest, loneliest Christmas. And I thought, well, I'll just start a project to get through Christmas. And I was doing a quilting project, and I started to sing praises to the Lord, and joy returned. I had thought it was gone forever, and through singing, the Lord restored joy, and I began to feel hopeful. The next week, the first Friday of 2010, I went to celebrate recovery because I felt like I needed to fix my daughter. I heard them say that this is a place for people who have hurts and habits and hang-ups. I got to the parking lot, I called my husband and I told him about it, and I said, I can't fix my daughter, but this is a place for me and I need to keep coming back. And I remember asking my sponsor, I said, is there really healing here? Does the Lord really heal? And she said, yes, the Lord really heals people. One of the things I had never done is go back and deal with the issues of the cult that I'd left. What I discovered was I had a root of fear in my life that was really keeping me bound up. And the Lord has been doing some amazing things in my life through yielding my life to Him, and because of the healing that God has given me, it's freed up all of that energy that was focused on my pain and my struggle to be able to serve others. And so now I continue with Celebrate Recovery, and I'm in the leadership there, and I meet with other women to encourage them. God doesn't waste your pain. He takes that pain and He can use it for His glory if you give it to Him. And the struggles are ongoing. Life is difficult, but to actually experience joy in the midst of trials, to experience God's faithfulness in your circumstances and see Him working in your family and moving, that is just huge. My life used to be just getting through my day-to-day, and now to realize that I have a part in the kingdom. I have a part in the community. He's actually touching other women through my story. My name is Rachel, and this is my story.